Everything you thought you knew about attracting women who seem out of your league is wrong. Stop doing what you've always done if you truly want to succeed. In this video, I'm going to reveal the secrets that 99% of men don't know, and they'll completely change your game. Section 1. The common struggle. Let me paint you a picture. You're out with your friends, maybe at a bar or a party, and then you see her. She's stunning, confident, and seems like she's from a different world. Every guy around you notices her too, but something about her that just draws you in. Your heart races, your palms get a little sweaty, and you start to wonder, do I even stand a chance? Sound familiar? If you're nodding your head right now, you're definitely not alone. Why is this a scenario that almost every guy has experienced at some point? But here's the thing, most guys don't know how to handle it. They either freeze up, overthink everything, or worse, don't even try. And why? Because they've convinced themselves that she's out of their league, that there's no point in even trying. But let me stop you right there. The idea of someone being out of your league is a myth. It's a mental trap that you've fallen into, and it's time to break free from it. So what's really going on here? Why do so many men feel paralyzed when they see a woman they're attracted to? Well, it all comes down to fear of rejection, fear of embarrassment, fear of not being good enough. And that fear, it's completely normal. Yes, even the most confident-looking guy in the room has felt it. But what separates those who succeed from those who don't is how they handle that fear. Or are you going to let it control you? Or are you going to face it head-on? Section 2. The root of the problem. Now let's dig a little deeper. Why is it that some women seem so unhittable? Is it their beauty? Their status? The way they carry themselves? Sure, all of those things play a part, but the real issue isn't them, it's you. Yep, I said it. The real issue is the way you see yourself in comparison to them. When you label someone as out of your league, you're automatically putting yourself down. You're telling yourself that you're not worthy, that you don't have what it takes to attract someone like her. Wherein when you do that, guess what happens? You start to believe it. You start to act like it. And before you know it, you've already lost the battle before it even began. But here's the kicker: women can sense this. They can pick up on your insecurity, your self-doubt, and it's a huge turn-off. Confidence, on the other hand, is incredibly attractive. When you walk into a room with your head held high, knowing your worth, people notice. Women notice. So, how do you shift from feeling like you're nifty enough to owning your value? It all starts with your mindset. You have to start seeing yourself as someone who is worthy of attention, someone who has something to offer. Because the truth is, you do. Section 3. Building unshakable confidence. Let's get into the good stuff, how to build that unshakable confidence that will make women take notice. The kind of confidence that isn't just skin deep, but that radiates from within. But it's not about being cocky or arrogant, it's about truly believing in yourself and your value. Tip 1. Master your body language. First things first, let's talk about body language. It might sound cliche, but how you carry yourself has a massive impact on how others perceive you. Think about it. When you see someone slouching, avoiding eye contact, or fidgeting, do they seem confident to you? Probably not. On the flip side, someone who stands tall, with their shoulders back and head up, exudes confidence. And here's the best part: adopting confident body language can actually make you feel more confident. It's called the fake it till you make it approach, and it works. Next time you're in a social setting, pay attention to how you're standing or sitting. Are you closed off with your arms crossed or your eyes glued to the floor? If so, make a conscious effort to open up your posture. Stand tall, relax your shoulders, and maintain eye contact. You'll be surprised at how much of a difference it makes. Tip 2. Reframe negative thoughts. Now let's tackle that inner critic. You know, the voice in your head that tells you you're not good enough, that she's out of your league, that you're going to embarrass yourself if you even try. It's time to shut that voice down. Instead of letting negative thoughts control you, start questioning them. Ask yourself, is this really true? More often than not, you'll find that these thoughts are just fears and insecurities talking, not reality. And when you challenge them, they start to lose their power. For example, if you catch yourself thinking she'll never be interested in someone like me, flip the script. Ask yourself, why wouldn't she be interested in me? What do I have to offer? This isn't about being delusional, it's about recognizing your own worth and not selling yourself short. Tip 3. Visualize your success. Visualization is a powerful tool that athletes, entrepreneurs, and high achievers use all the time. Why? Because it works. When you visualize yourself succeeding, you're intentionally training your brain to expect success. And when your brain expects success, you start to act in ways that make it happen. So how do you do it? It's simple. Find a quiet place, close your eyes, and imagine yourself in the situation you're nervous about. See yourself walking up to that woman, confidently starting a conversation, and her responding positively. Picture the entire scene in as much detail as possible: what you're wearing, how you're standing, the look on her face when she smiles at you. The more vividly you can imagine it, the more real it will feel. And when the time comes to actually do it, your brain will think, "I've got this. I've been here before." Section 4. Breaking mental patterns and limiting beliefs. But confidence alone isn't enough. You also need to break free from the mental patterns and limiting beliefs that are holding you back. These are the invisible chains that keep you stuck in the same old habits, making the same mistakes over and over again. Challenge your beliefs about attraction. One of the biggest limiting beliefs that guys have is that attraction is something that just happens, that it's out of their control. They think that either a woman is attracted to them or she isn't, and there's nothing they can do to change that. But that's not true. Attraction is a dynamic process, and there's a lot you can do to influence it. It's about how you present yourself, how you interact, and the energy you bring to the table. So instead of thinking she's either going to like me or she's not, start thinking, how can I create attraction? Stop placing women on pedestals. Another common mental trap is putting women on pedestals, seeing them as these perfect beings who are out of your reach. But here's a newsflash: nobody's perfect. Women have their own insecurities, flaws, and fears just like you. When you stop seeing them as unattainable goddesses and start seeing them as human beings, it becomes a lot easier to connect with them. Think about it when you're talking to a friend. You're relaxed, confident, and authentic. You're not overthinking every word that comes out of your mouth. Why? Because you don't see them as better than you. You see them as an equal. The same should apply when you're interacting with women you're attracted to. Focus on what you can control. Here's another game-changing tip. Stop worrying about what you can't control. You can't control how someone else is going to react, what they're going to think, or whether they'll find you attractive. But you can control how you show up, how you present yourself, and the energy you bring. When you focus on what you can control, you take the power back. You're no longer at the mercy of someone else's opinion or reaction. Instead, you're in charge of your own experience. And that's a very attractive quality. Section 5. Embracing vulnerability and authenticity. Now let's talk about something that a lot of guys are afraid to do: showing vulnerability. I know it sounds counterintuitive. You've probably been taught that showing vulnerability is a sign of weakness, that it makes you look less attractive. But the truth is, vulnerability is a strength, not a weakness. Why vulnerability is attractive? When you're vulnerable, you're being real. You're showing that you're not perfect, that you have fears and insecurities just like everyone else. And guess what? That makes you relatable. It makes you human. And in a world where so many people are trying to put up a front, being real is incredibly refreshing. Think about it. Would you rather talk to someone who's always trying to impress you, who never lets their guard down, or someone who's genuine, honest, and open? Most people would choose the latter. Why? Because authenticity creates connection. How to be vulnerable without being needy. There's a difference between being vulnerable and being needy. Being vulnerable is about being honest and open about your feelings and experiences. Being needy is about seeking validation and approval from others. When you're vulnerable, you're sharing a part of yourself without expecting anything in return. You're not looking for someone to fix your problems or make you feel better. You're simply being real. And that's incredibly powerful. For example, if you're nervous about talking to someone, it's okay to admit it. You could say something like, "I have to admit, I was a little nervous about coming over to talk to you, but I'm glad I did." This shows that you're human, and it instantly makes you more relatable. Section 6. Cultivating a strong sense of self-esteem. Finally, let's talk about self-esteem. Because at the end of the day, everything we've talked about, confidence, breaking mental patterns, embracing vulnerability, it all comes back to how you see yourself. If you don't believe in your own worth, it's going to be hard to convince anyone else to. Developing a strong self-esteem. So how do you build a strong sense of self-esteem? It starts with self-care. And no, I'm not just talking about grooming or hitting the gym, though those things are important. I'm talking about taking care of your mental and emotional health as well. Start by practicing positive self-talk. Pay attention to the things you say to yourself throughout the day. Are you constantly putting yourself down? Are you focusing on your flaws instead of your strengths? If so, it's time to flip the script. Whenever you catch yourself thinking something negative, stop and reframe it. For example, if you find yourself thinking, "I'm not good enough," change it to, "I'm constantly growing and improving, and I have a lot to offer." Celebrate your wins. Another great way to boost your self-esteem is by celebrating your wins, big or small. Did you accomplish something at work? Celebrate it. Did you step out of your comfort zone and talk to someone new? Celebrate that too. When you start to acknowledge your achievements, you reinforce the belief that you are capable and worthy. Surround yourself with positivity. Your environment also plays a huge role in your self-esteem. If you're constantly surrounded by negativity, whether it's from people, social media, or even your own thoughts, it's going to be tough to feel good about yourself. Make a conscious effort to surround yourself with positivity. Spend time with people who lift you up, who support you, and who believe in you. Limit your exposure to negativity, whether it's from toxic relationships, negative news, or social media that makes you feel bad about yourself. Section 7. Putting it all together. So, we've covered a lot of ground: how to build confidence, break mental patterns, embrace vulnerability, and cultivate self-esteem. But how do you put it all together? Practice makes perfect. First and foremost, understand that this is a process. You're not going to become a confident, self-assured person overnight. It takes time, practice, and patience. But the more you practice these principles, the more natural they'll become. Start small. Maybe it's just making a conscious effort to stand a little taller, to smile a little more, or to challenge a negative thought when it pops into your head. And then, as you start to feel more confident, push yourself a little further. Strike up a conversation with someone new, share something personal with a friend, or take the small risk that you would normally avoid. Reflect and adjust. As you start implementing these changes, take time to reflect on your progress. What's working? What's not? Don't be afraid to adjust your approach as you go. This is your journey, and it's all about finding what works best for you. The journey is the destination. And remember, the journey itself is just as important as the destination. You're going to have ups and downs, successes and failures, but that's all part of the process. Every step you take, no matter how small, is a step forward. Section 8, your transformation starts now. Now that you've got the tools and the knowledge, it's time to take action. No more sitting on the sidelines, no more letting fear hold you back. You have what it takes to succeed with women, even those who seem out of your league. But here's the thing, you have to believe it. You have to believe in yourself and your worth. Because once you do, everything else will fall into place. If this video has inspired you, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for more motivational content. And remember, down below in the description, there's a link that will help you become an expert in attraction. Click it and start your journey to a life full of confidence and success. See you in the next video.